Welcome back to the program. Now, a Made in Singapore album is making history in the local music scene. Take a look at this one. This is it right here in my hand. Something called Rumbadoodle. It won a Grammy nomination in the category for Best Pop Instrumental Album.
Yeah, it is the first time ever for a locally produced album, and the team behind it is with us in our studio today. We welcome Arun Shenoy, producer and composer of Rumbadoodle, Jerry Chua, who mixed and mastered it, plus played the drums on all the tracks, and Roshni Mohapatra, the album's art director, of course, Arun's wife as well.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the show.
Congratulations, first of all.
Yes.
Yeah, when did you find out? How did you find out? What was your first reaction?
I was actually following the show because it's telecast in the US and online. There's a live stream as well. But actually, I didn't see it till a few minutes after the nomination was actually announced, where a friend in the US who was watching it just called me and told me that my name had come up on.
Could you believe it?
It was hard to believe at first. Yeah. You know, it was quite incredible. It was quite nice.
I mean, we're going to mention some of the other nominees in the category. Guitarist Larry Carlton, he's won the Grammy 4 times, been nominated 19 times. Talking about trumpeter Chris Botti. I mean, you know, you're among the best. So actually, how did this album begin for you guys? So, you know, tell us the origins.
The thing is, in this industry, I've always specialized as a record producer and a composer, and that has been my background of actually being the guy behind the scenes. Not much of a public figure, but the creative guy behind the scenes.
Right.
And what I decided to do with this effort was kind of do a production with under my own name. That means as a composer, producer, arranger, you know, engineer, and the artist as well. And I've always loved world music, but I'm not really a world music artist. I'm more of a fusion artist. So what I decided to do was take the traditional art form, which is flamenco, for this particular album, and try to incorporate popular music sensibilities from jazz, pop, rock, to create a very signature sound. It wasn't just fusion. It was trying to create a very signature sound for this record.
Let me just stop you then. World music, fusion music. You said that they are different because you are from fusion music, but yet you were not a world music artist. How are they different?
World music is something which is associated with very traditional art forms, yes. And when you talk about fusion, we're talking about something which has a bit more of a mainstream appeal. You know, sometimes, like if you look at flamenco, which is the root for this record, flamenco as an art form is very, very complicated. You know, just like Indian classical music or many other classical forms, it's hard for listeners to just tap their feet and enjoy the music. It's something you have to grow. It's something that's supposed to grow on you. You know, with very complex forms. So that is what typically traditionally we talk about when we say world music forms.
Well, Roshni, we have to ask, because we've been looking at this music video, especially for a while now, with all the illustrations, and also I'm looking at this cover here, the in-sleeve. I mean, you're in charge of the artwork, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm the art director for the album. So
what was the inspiration? How did you decide the theme, and you sort of, you know?
So initially, when we came to think about the album, we thought of it as a audiovisual experience. It wasn't supposed to be just music. It was supposed to be the artwork, the video, as well as the music, and all in conjunction. So for each musical piece, we have related artwork so that when the listener listens, it evokes something in them. It sort of adds another dimension to whatever Arun has already made as far as the music is concerned.
So this is sort of your interpretation of the music that you hear, right? That Arun has composed.
So we worked with a team of artists and animators from New York for this, and gave them the concepts of what feelings we want to invoke for each one of the songs.
Well, Jerry, you had a hand in this album. You mixed it. This is your baby as well, right?
Yes, it was a labor of love. Yeah, it was not easy because we had a lot of changes because Arun is a perfectionist.
Right.
Nice way of saying he's difficult to work with.
Yeah, he'll be telling me.
Intended to say fussy.
Yeah, he'll be telling me like the bass is not enough. I need more this. I need more that, and we have so many changes. But in the end, it's all worth it.
It's worth it. I mean, you were nominated at the Grammys with some of the top artists of our times as well. So that must be great honor and recognition for your work, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no bigger payoff than that. But tell us, you talked about the gypsy rumba flamenco that you use as a source of inspiration for this. Was it particularly something special to you, which is why you picked on it?
Yes, I would think so, because I've always started off, you know, as an instrumentalist, as a guitarist is how I started off. And what I really like is if you listen to my music, it's music that's by design. It's very intense. You know, it's something that's supposed to excite. I mean, when I produce it, I always look at it from these. It's supposed to pep people up, you know, and this is why the flamenco rumba appeals to me, you know, because it has that intensity, the passion in the music, the rapid flourishes. If you look at the flamenco dance, it's very, very intense, and I find that very appealing. It always gives me a kind of a blood rush when I listen to it, when I watch live musicians play, you know, the flamenco. So I decided to use that as a base and then incorporate my traditional influences, because I grew up on rock and roll and jazz, you know, more of the traditional forms, and so I thought I should bring in all of these influences. So pretty much in each and every song I have influences from all of the people who have inspired me along the journey.
And also, as you mentioned, this was a journey. You kind of traveled to different parts of the world.
That is
all
correct.
of it was recorded. Actually, many of them recorded at different locations as well, right?
That is correct.
How was that? Was that planned? Did you go to specific sites? Or?
That was actually one of the tougher parts of the project, because first I had to find the right people. So we had like an audition which went on for almost a year, you know, to find the right, I needed the right flamenco guitarist, the right violinist, you know, I needed the right piano players for a specific jazz kind of feel. So it was a work in progress, if I may say. So I just kept finding people along the way. It wasn't something we'd really planned. Sometimes I just bump into somebody I never expected to be working with, and there's something which inspires me, and I actually built a new song around it. Like if you look at the title track Rumbadoodle, which is actually doing the rounds, it's actually a violin piece, but originally it was me playing the guitar. It was actually it was a duet between the flamenco guitarist, who's Glenn Sharp from the UK, and me. And but in the end, I kind of didn't like how it went, so I just met Ian, and I told him that, you know what, let's redo it with violins. So it's just kind of evolved.
Were you both traveling together? Did you go with him, Roshni? Did you travel parts of the countries when he was recording the music? And
Yeah, I mean, Spain definitely, yes, because I love Spain and I love Spanish, so we traveled together. I was his official translator.
Okay, that we.
So, like,
I'm just going to say, while he was working, you just went shopping and left him. And Jerry, so putting it all together, I mean, as you mentioned, was it difficult? Also because different locations, the sounds will be a bit different. You
so
can't use
many different players. It's not like you can talk to them on the spot, like, you know, can you do this and that?
Correct.
It's already done, and then communication is difficult also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all worthwhile, guys. There you go.
Well, you were going to be in LA on Feb 10th, and that's the night when the Grammys will be announced. Any expectations? Are you going to prepare a thank you speech?
It's quite stressful, to be honest. I mean, if you look at the other 4 people in my category, I mean, between them they have like 35 nominations and about 5 or 10 wins.
Right.
It's just a very humbling experience. You know, more than me being excited or delighted, I'm just grateful, and I should just say I'm very humbled for, you know, what we've achieved. And
well, guys, congrats again. Congratulations on being nominated. It's a big thing already, so all the best.
On the map there.
Yeah, there you go.
The team behind Grammy-nominated record, it's called Rumbadoodle. Arun Shenoy, composer and producer. We had Jerry Chua, the mixing engineer, and Roshni Mohapatra, the album's art director.
Rumbadoodle is the first album produced by a Singapore team to be nominated for a Grammy Award, so we wish them every success.